What's up, YouTube? Dan the Digiman here, finally checking this game off of my backlog. I've been meaning to play this game for months, maybe even years. I am a big fan of Digimon, both the anime and the games. I loved going through Digimon World Dawn on the DS and the Cyber Sleuth duology, having gotten both games platinumed. Got into the uncensored OG versions of the original. Wept with joy at the release of the Try movies, and got all emotional over Last Kizuna. And I even went with my brother-in-law to see O2 The Beginning in theaters. Let's see how Survive holds up. Obviously, there will be full game spoilers ahead. So let me break down my playthroughs. There are 4 possible story routes: Harmony, Truthful, Moral, and Wrathful, and this is the order I played through. Truthful is locked to a New Game Plus playthrough. For the other 3 routes, for the most part, the first 8 chapters are the same with some minor differences. We're on a camping trip, meet the main cast, then get sidetracked and spirited away to the world of Kemonogami, aka the digital world. We are Takuma, and meet our partner Digimon, and Agumon, of course. We get truly introduced to the battle system. This system is very reminiscent of Pokemon Conquest, and suffers from the same deficiencies. Like Pokemon Conquest, there are 2 main issues with the battle system, being the lackluster move pool, and the sheer numbers difference in battle. Most battles will be your party of 4 or 5 Digimon, against somewhere between double and triple that number for the opponents. All Digimon come with only 2 attacks, a basic attack and a special attack. There are other moves you can use, but in order to use them, you need to use up one of each Digimon's 2 equipment spots. So the battle system is kind of a bore, as there's usually too many Mons to fight against, and a lot of battles end when you beat the boss. So to speed it up, just streamline and focus on the boss if you can. However, the game's story does a lot of the heavy lifting. We meet up with our main squad of Aoi and Minoru, along with their partners Labramon and Falcomon. We make it to our school base and meet up with the coward Ryo and his partner Kunemon, who can't even talk but makes awesome squeaking sounds. Aoi, of course, has to get kidnapped, and we discover 2 children from the prologue hiding in the school too. We make our way to the gym and confront Dokugamon. During this time, we get our first real evolution, where Agumon can digivolve. Since we're on the Harmony route, our choices make Agumon evolve into Data-type Digimon. We manage to rescue Aoi and hit the hay. The next day, we secure food, water, and general supplies. Then we head out into the woods, manage to find the professor, who even the intro just calls Professor, and try to find Saki and Shuji, along with their partners Floramon and Lopmon. Oh no, Shuji is partnered with Lopmon. That is never a good sign. We get stalked by the creepy Fangmon, rescue a group of Gomamon, and get led to a dam. We confront Fangmon before he can get his grubby paws on our friends. The professor gets thrown off the dam and disappears, and then, after the fight, we see Fangmon get consumed by the evil fog. The next day, Shuji is being a prick, causing issues, and we decide to go to the radio tower to try and get a phone signal. On the way, we meet up with Kaito again, whose little sister Mew is missing. We confront a woman that looks suspiciously like the human version of Arukenimon from O2. As we make Takuma follow Kaito instead of staying with the group, we get the reveal that the woman is, in fact, Arukenimon, and she wants to kidnap the children to make them sacrifices, whatever that means. Agumon and Drachmon, Kaito's partner, manage to beat her off, and we get the reveal that we're on a very small island, which is very strange. On the way down, Ryo starts to lose his mind even more, and as Cyclonemon shows up, we have to try to rescue him. During the fight, Ryo falls off the bridge along with the small kid Haru. We hurry to take down Cyclomon, and once he falls, we hurry down to where Ryo fell. Haru starts acting hella weird, and Ryo sees his own dead mother in the fog. Ryo then gives himself over to the illusion and gets consumed, with nothing left but a blotchy stain on the ground, followed by Kunemon disappearing. Our whole group is horrified, but there's nothing more to do other than book it from the evil fog. The next day, everyone is tired and shaken, but none more so than Kaito, whose sister is still missing. Thankfully, it seems painfully obvious that Mew is at the amusement park. After some more scrambling, we make it to the amusement park, get harassed by some rookie Digimon, and find Mew, who is acting like an arrogant queen with her partner Shakomon. Our group gets dropped into a dungeon, where we are rescued by Digimon. After our great escape, the kidnappers have appeared and are attacking the park. We manage to find Mew, and then confront Garurumon and Monzaimon. After the fight, Garurumon heads off to lick his wounds, and we've got Mew with us. Digimon tells us about the group of kidnappers, how by sacrificing children to the Master, the fog will stop encroaching, at least for a time. The kidnappers might know how to get home, too. So with the key that Digimon gives us, our goal is to get to the dam, and go underground to get to another island and raid the enemy's base. We also see Shuji failing in his mental state. Like, a lot. And he begins abusing Lopmon. Something bad is coming. Once we're in the waterways, we get hit by illusions, have to find everyone and all the partners, along with intermittent fights against Seadramon. Making our way to the end, Mega Seadramon shows up, preparing to kill Shuji. During the fight against Mega Seadramon, Shuji begins to assault Lopmon, causing Lopmon to Dark Digivolve to Wendigomon, who is able to one-shot Mega Seadramon. But then, Wendigomon eats Shuji alive! We then have to put Wendigomon down. After the fight, the fog begins to encroach again, but the professor shows up and is able to rescue us. We then get placed on the next island, where some members of our group are starting to mistrust their partners. But the professor explains that each spirit is a reflection of their human, meaning a human with bad thoughts will create a bad monster. This really hurts Minoru, who has estranged Falcomon. As we examine the island, we find some ruined apartment complexes, get some more backstory for the professor, Haru, and Miyuki, and then get attacked again. After confronting Garurumon again, who seems to recognize the professor, we learn that the enemy's base is a factory on this second island. We head back to the school to rest and regroup for the night. The next day, we head back to the second island. In the waterway, Arukenimon manages to kidnap Miyuki, calling her a maiden. As we progress through the second island, we see the carnage left behind by Renamon, who is trying to rescue Miyuki. We confront and take down Arukenimon, but then the head honcho appears, who I had hoped was going to be Demon, but it's just Piedmon. Piedmon executes Arukenimon and kidnaps Miyuki. We make our way to the factory and confront Piedmon, where during the fight Garurumon shows up and evolves with some help from the professor. This first time you have to do this fight is really hard and really annoying. Mainly thanks to the addition of a fucking Skull Greymon here, who can snipe and nearly one-shot anyone with a decent backshot. After we take Piedmon down, we run up and get swept up into the fog and meet the Formless Master. We manage to recover Miyuki's soul and get back to the real world. We see that what happens in the other world affects the real world. We confront Piedmon once again and manage to take him down. Here is the decision that decides which path you go down: Harmony, Wrathful, or Moral. In all routes, we get back, see more areas closed off by fog, and learn Miyuki has been fully possessed by the Master, unleashing new enemies called Kenzoku. In the Harmony route, we get some more backstory for Miu and Kaito, learning that Miu was stalked by a guy in the real world, and Kaito beat the shit out of him. But their family in general didn't like this, so Kaito and Miu were shipped off to the country. We then trudge down to the amusement park to see if Digimon can help us out. We do what we can to save who we can, but Miu ends up being consumed by the fog. Then, a new library shows up, filled with illusions created by Renamon. Kaito is driven more insane, and cuts a deal with Piedmon to have Dracmon fuse with him to create a new monster, Boltaboutmon. Kaito manages to break the seal on the Master and somehow frees Miyuki. After a brief fight, Dracmon lost his influence of the fusion, and Piedmon's spirit has full reign, murdering Kaito. Everyone then gets transported to the Master's chambers. Boltaboutmon gets absorbed, and we try to fight the Master. Halfway through, the Master gets consumed instead, and becomes more Boltaboutmon in a gruelingly arduous and unfair fight. No, I never turned down the difficulty. Once he goes down, we get to the ending, where the worlds begin to merge, more people become chosen children, and our group has to spearhead the revolution through a system that seems good but difficult. In the moral route, it's a little different. Mostly the same setup with some more backstory for Haru, but at the amusement park, Digimon is the one who bites it. And of course, the professor is Haru, while the child Haru is actually Renamon. Garurumon gets added to our group, having taken down Piedmon off-screen, and during the endgame, the Omegamon fusion becomes available. In the endgame, we manage to rescue Miyuki in a pain-in-the-ass rescue mission, where Renamon kinda dies, but gets turned into an egg and is reborn in time to confront the Master. After we take down the Master, everyone splits up, with the Mon staying in their world and the worlds stay separate, with new rumors and ideas being spread in the human world to sustain and better the newly dubbed digital world. A fairly happy ending. Finally, in the Wrathful Route, at the amusement park, Saki gets consumed by the fog, and Aoi blames herself heavily. Kaito saw that Saki chose to let go rather than having Aoi and the others get consumed too, but Aoi starts going more insane from the burden of responsibility. Aoi manages to find Piedmon, heals him, but then Piedmon betrays Aoi and Labramon, injuring them to the point of death. We slay Piedmon, but can't heal Aoi and Labramon. Then something really bad happens. The despair of both of them caused them to fuse into the evil amalgamation of Plutomon. Aoi goes even more insane, stating that she will take down the Master and make everyone in the world become one single being. As we make it to the endgame, Aoi manages to absorb Miyuki, making Renamon disappear, and takes over the Master too, but then we have to put her down. The worlds merge in a more chaotic setting, with many bad people committing crimes and monster tamers being put in concentration camps. Our group functions more like vigilantes, trying to guide people to do right, operating from the shadows. At the end of all 3 of these playthroughs, we get a notice saying that if our bond with Ryo was stronger, then maybe everyone can survive. However, this is a partial lie, as you must be on New Game Plus for this to work, and doing so locks you into the Truthful route. With higher affection, Kunemon can snap Ryo out of his stupor and save him from the fog. Then, Ryo is able to beat some sense into Shuji in the waterway, preventing a dark digivolution. Shuji then goes on to help the professor in deciphering the murals in the shrine, letting us discover the truth of the world and how to possibly save it. As we continue on, during the endgame, we go to the amusement park and save almost everyone, and then manage to find the secret site of one of the 4 sacred beast Digimon, Balhumon. We meet the spirit of a prior user and gain the power, then learn we need to go to the other beasts to earn their powers too. So we find the next 3 spirits over the course of the game, along with recruiting Renamon and Garurumon. The fight against Azulongmon is a huge pain in the ass, as we have to do it basically with just Garurumon and some free Digimon. And because we only just got Garurumon here, he's severely underleveled. After we get all 4 powers, we can then confront the Master and reveal his true form, Fanglongmon Ruin Mode. After a tough fight, he goes down, we free all of the consumed souls, and the fog disappears. However, the worlds begin to gradually merge in the best way. Everyone stays friends, Miyuki can have a normal life, and the worlds can gradually grow together with no hardships or growing pains. The 4 playthroughs will net most of the trophies. The only unnatural 2 are for finding 100 items via the phone and for completing the Digimon library. The 100 items one took me a bit more than 2 full playthroughs, getting it shortly into my 3rd. And with the proper evolution paths and thanks to the Truthful route, most paths will be done from recruiting and evolving. I earned this trophy at the same time I got the trophy for getting Omegamon. This game was a lot of fun. It had a great story and decent twists. The choices are a bit lackluster, not affecting that much though. And the characters grow in meaningful ways based on the events of the story. The SRPG sections could be better, with more options added to everyone, especially with a lot more attacks and special moves, along with a better curve for some of the fights, with Piedmon and the Master being some very tough walls. I enjoyed my time with this game though. The Platinum is a 2.5 out of 10, due to some of the RNG involved in getting free recruits and annoyance in spawns and rarity. On the patented Dan the Ranking Man scale, the game is a 78 out of 100. The music is great, the voice work is okay, but the translation is very shoddy, with several points clearly not matching the dialogue, and other points really tanking the conversation flow, not to mention talking about someone and incorrectly referring to them. These translators did a very poor job. And the SRPG sections, while initially interesting, become more of a slog due to an ever-shrinking pool of options, and several maps having the enemies be so far away that even using movement boosters, it takes 2 to 4 turns to get close enough for any form of combat to start. There's a surprisingly good selection of mons to choose from, though I would have appreciated it more if the main cast had more evolution routes. Most are straight lines with 1 or 2 extra branches. I had fun with this game though. The darker storyline kept me hooked, and was a decent time overall. Stay tuned for the final game of this month, Harvest Moon Mad Dash, to see if it's a mission complete or a mission failed. Like and subscribe, and remember, only losers paid for the Guillaumon DLC.